You do not lack ability. You do not lack intelligence. What is dragging you down many times is not circumstance, but a life that is not being governed by discipline. Every day, a great many people wake up and live like a leaf blown by the wind. If the mood is good, they act. If they are tired, they quit. If they are criticized, they shrink. If things get hard, they retreat. And then they call that fate. But Marcus Aurelius did not. In the middle of war, plague, betrayal, and the pressure of an entire empire, he still kept his calm, his clarity, and a rare kind of discipline. Not because his life was easy, but because he understood one thing: a person who can master himself will not be easily knocked down by life. Today, we are going into 10 Stoic principles that can train you to become stronger, clearer, and more disciplined day by day. 1. If you want discipline, first, you must know what you are living for. Marcus Aurelius believed that discipline does not begin with forcing yourself to do more. It begins with knowing clearly what you are living for. A person without purpose is very easily dragged away by temptation. Today they want this. Tomorrow they change their mind. Sometimes they work hard because they feel inspired. Sometimes they let go because they feel bored. It is not that they are weak. They simply do not yet have a direction clear enough to force themselves to become serious. Stoicism teaches that a person must live in alignment with the best part of his nature. That means living with reason, responsibility, and character. When you understand what truly matters to you, you will begin to know how to say no to the things that distract you. Every morning, ask yourself, what is the most important thing I must do well today? Every night, ask yourself, did I live today in alignment with what I consider important? A person with purpose does not get lost easily. A person without purpose can be pulled off course for an entire life by just one small wave of laziness. 2. Do not wait for someone to save you. Become your own support. One of the strongest spirits in Marcus Aurelius is this: rely on yourself. Not to live in isolation, not to reject all help, but to understand that the final responsibility for your life is still yours. Many people lose discipline because they are always waiting for something from the outside. Waiting to be encouraged before they begin. Waiting for someone to believe in them before they dare to act. Waiting for circumstances to become favorable before they try. Waiting for the mood to be right before they move. But the Stoic is different. He understands that if his life keeps depending on emotion, praise, or the approval of others, then he will always live in a passive state. What does relying on yourself mean? It means keeping your word to yourself. It means getting back up when you are tired. It means not turning your weakness into an excuse to quit. It means knowing that whether anyone out there understands you or not, you still must do what is right. True discipline is not shown in what you can do when someone is watching. It is shown in what you still do when no one is pushing you. The strong person is not the one who needs no one. The strong person is the one who does not collapse simply because he lacks someone's approval. If you have ever gone through a season of always waiting for others to encourage you, approve of you, or pull you back up, comment 1. If you are learning how to stand on your own, keep your word to yourself, and become your own support, comment 2. 3. Do not go big once and then disappear. Show up every day. Marcus Aurelius did not praise short-term bursts. He valued consistency. Showing up every day is what builds character. Many people love the feeling of determination. They burn hot for one day. They make huge plans. They say powerful words. Then a few days later, they disappear. Stoicism does not believe in that kind of enthusiasm. Stoicism believes in a steady rhythm. It is not that you must be exceptional every day, but every day you should be present. 1 page of reading, 1 paragraph of writing, 1 short workout, 1 small step toward what is right. It is repetition that creates discipline. It is refusing to waste a single day meaninglessly that forges willpower. Do not underestimate small actions. A broken life often begins with very small days of carelessness. And a stable life also begins with very small moments of pulling yourself back into structure. Discipline is not a performance. Discipline is quiet presence every day. 4. Put yourself into small difficulties before life throws big difficulties in your face. Marcus Aurelius and the Stoic philosophers did not only speak about enduring hardship when it comes. They also deliberately practiced becoming familiar with inconvenience, lack, and discomfort. Why? Because a person used to living too softly will break very easily when life becomes hard. Modern people are wrapped in comfort too much. A little hunger makes them irritable. A short time without a phone makes them restless. Not getting their way makes them lose their calm. Too much comfort for too long causes the will to shrink. Stoicism teaches you that from time to time you should step out of the comfortable zone. Not to torment yourself, but to remind yourself that you are stronger than you think, and you are not absolutely dependent on comfort. Wake up a little earlier. Walk instead of choosing the easiest option. Reduce useless self-indulgence. Practice doing hard things when no one forces you to. When you choose small difficulties on purpose, you are building endurance for the times when greater difficulties arrive. A person who does not train his will in ordinary days will panic very easily when the real storm comes. 5. Clearly distinguish what belongs to your control and what does not. This is one of the greatest principles of Stoicism. Focus only on what lies within your control. You do not control the weather. You do not control the hearts of others. You do not control the past. You do not control whether other people understand you or not. But you do control your attitude, your words, your choices, your response. Many people live in exhaustion because they pour their energy into things outside their reach. They want others to change. They want life to become fair immediately. They want results to come exactly the way they hoped. And when that does not happen, they become angry, resentful, and then drained. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that being disturbed by things outside our control is a form of self-torment. Not because those things do not matter, but because you cannot govern them through irritation. A disciplined person knows how to keep his energy in the right place. He does not waste his mind on what is useless. He does not become frantic over what lies outside his power to decide. When something happens, ask immediately, is this truly within my control? If not, learn to let go. If yes, do it well. If what is exhausting you most right now is trying to control things that were never yours to control, comment 1. If you are learning to live in the true Stoic spirit, focusing only on your own thoughts, choices, and actions, comment 2. 6. Do not play the victim in your own life. Stoicism does not deny pain. It does not deny injustice. It does not deny that life can be very harsh. But Stoicism also does not allow you to turn that into your identity. Many people live too long in the mindset of a victim. They do not just say, I am going through something hard. They turn it into, I am someone life always treats badly. And from there, they hand all of their power over to circumstance. Marcus Aurelius looked at every challenge as an opportunity to display character, not an opportunity to pity himself, but an opportunity to see how he would respond. When you play the victim, you hand the key to your emotional state to the outside world. When you refuse the role of victim, you take back the right to choose your attitude. That does not mean pretending to be fine. It means saying, yes, this is hard, but I still have the right to choose how I move forward. That is real strength. The weak person always asks, why is this happening to me? The strong person asks, what should I do now that is right? One question pulls you down. One question pulls you back up. 7. Learn to delay gratification if you want real freedom. Marcus Aurelius understood very clearly. A person who cannot control small desires will struggle greatly to pursue anything big. Discipline is the ability to refuse an immediate reward in order to keep something more valuable in the long term. It sounds simple, but this is where many people lose. They choose what is easy instead of what is right. They choose quick pleasure instead of long-term strength. They choose immediate satisfaction instead of building a solid foundation. One reckless meal, one impulsive purchase, one lazy day justified by every excuse imaginable, one delay that seems small. All of it adds up into a weaker life. Stoicism is not against joy, it is against dependence on short-term pleasure. If you want to become strong, you must practice saying, "Not everything I want right now is worth obeying." Money, health, skill, relationships, everything lasting requires a person who knows how to wait, how to restrain himself, and how to prioritize the long term. A person who cannot endure short-term discomfort will often live in long-term regret. 8. Do not let the noise of other people write your life for you. One very powerful Stoic principle is this: do not live based on outside noise. People will always have opinions. When you have done nothing, they say you are weak. When you begin, they say you are delusional. When you achieve a little, they say you are lucky. When you change, they say you are not the same anymore. If you keep turning yourself according to every one of those voices, you will never live a clear life. Marcus Aurelius understood that praise and criticism both lie outside our control. If you depend on them to live, you will become a puppet of public opinion. Stoicism does not teach you to block out all feedback. It teaches you to distinguish. If feedback comes with good intent and real value, learn from it. If it is meaningless noise, leave it behind. You do not need to argue with everyone who does not understand you. You do not need to explain every step you take to everyone. You only need to be sure of one thing. Is what you are doing aligned with your values and the path you have chosen or not? A person with inner direction will be pulled around less by the world. A person who lives by the eyes of others will never be at peace. If you have ever been shaken by criticism, judgment, or the looks of other people, comment 1. If you have started to understand that you cannot live your whole life trying to please the crowd, and you want to stay firm on your own path, comment 2. 9. Learn from those worth learning from, instead of learning from the crowd. Marcus Aurelius often spoke of the fine qualities of the people he respected. He observed them, reflected on them, and learned from the way they lived. This is something worth thinking deeply about. Every person is being influenced by someone. If you do not choose who to learn from, the crowd will choose for you. And the crowd rarely pulls you upward. The crowd usually pulls you toward ease, showmanship, shallowness, and lack of depth. Stoicism teaches you to choose your models consciously, not to imitate blindly, but to measure yourself against qualities worthy of respect: calmness, integrity, self-control, responsibility, and steadiness in difficulty. Look closely at who lives in a way that earns your deep respect, not just surface admiration. Who passes through storms without losing dignity. Who becomes more humble, the more power they gain. Who carries weight without needing noise. Following the wise does not make you lose your identity. It helps you escape the confusion of instinct. You will move much faster when you are willing to learn from people who have already lived out what you are trying to become. 10. End the day with self-examination. That is how strong people grow. One of Marcus Aurelius's deepest habits was looking back at himself every day. Not to torment himself, but to correct his direction. This is an extremely powerful principle, because a person who does not reflect will keep repeating himself. He makes the same mistakes, loses his temper in the same way, stays weak in the same place, then calls it his nature. No. Many times, it is only a habit that has never been examined. Every night, spend a few minutes asking yourself, how did I live today? Did I keep my principles? Where did I react foolishly? What did I do well? What must I correct tomorrow? It is that act of looking back that creates progress. No one becomes stronger by drifting unconsciously through the days. Stoicism is the path of self-observation. The person who dares to look directly at himself is the one who has a real chance to truly change himself. Self-examination does not make you weak, it makes you real. And a person who is honest with himself always has a greater chance to grow than one who only knows how to blame life. Marcus Aurelius did not leave us words just to admire. He left us a way of living to be trained by. Live with purpose. Rely on yourself. Show up every day. Choose hardship on purpose. Focus only on what you control. Do not play the victim. Learn to delay gratification. Do not depend on outside noise. Learn from those worth learning from. And examine yourself every day. These are not beautiful principles just to hear and feel impressed by. They are the framework for building a person who does not break easily. This world does not lack inspired people. It lacks disciplined people. It does not lack people who speak well. It lacks people who can hold themselves together when life forces them against the wall. And if you truly want to change your life, remember this. Discipline is not a prison. Discipline is freedom. Because when you master yourself, you are no longer dragged around by your moods, no longer led by temptation, no longer distorted by circumstance. You begin to live like a person with a center, with weight, with strength, and that is the power Stoicism truly wants to give you. Among these 10 principles, which one do you need most right now? Live with purpose, rely on yourself, show up every day, grow through hardship, focus on what you can control. Do not play the victim, delay gratification, ignore the noise, learn from the wise, examine yourself daily. Comment one number below. And if you want more content that is sharper, deeper, and true to the spirit of Stoic philosophy, like and subscribe to the Stoic Light channel.